Hi, I'm David Gilbert, Technology Editor with the International Business Times UK. And I'm looking at the Amazon Kindle Fire HD today, which is a 7-inch Android tablet, taking on the likes of the Google Nexus 7 and the iPad mini and Samsung's Galaxy Tab as well. The tablet itself is, like most other tablets, mostly consists of black matte plastic finish on the back and a main glass front. It's relatively small and slim. It's slightly thicker and quite a bit heavier than the iPad mini at just under 400 grams and 10.3 millimeters thick. But when you hold it in one hand, as you can see, it's quite comfortable just holding it in one hand, and there isn't a problem. Unless you're holding it for hours on end, you're not going to get weighed down by it. If we can just switch on the screen here, it's kind of tough to find the button sometimes because it's, as you can see, it's blended into the side of the tablet quite well. When we do turn it on, the first thing you'll see is that you're greeted with an ad. This is what Amazon calls special deals, and every time you turn on the tablet, or every time you lock it and you turn it on again, you're greeted by a different ad, as you can see. Now, while this might be intrusive for some people, there is an option to turn it off. You can pay an extra £10 and you'll get rid of it straight away. So let's just open up the tablet here, and as you can see, unlike every other Android tablet, the Kindle Fire HD has a completely different interface. It's the first thing that strikes you about it. What you basically have is a main carousel of your content, so it's apps, movies, books, music, everything that you've used, with the most recent items at the front being replaced every time you use something new. And along the top then you have a navigation bar letting you go to the shop, games, apps, books, music, and so on. While it's based on Android, it looks absolutely nothing like Android you've ever seen before. Amazon has completely redesigned the interface, and it's completely focused on Amazon content. That's what Amazon are looking to do. They want you to buy their content from their online stores and nowhere else. And as such, you've no access to Google Play, which is Google's own online store where you normally buy apps, games, music, movies. And as a result, you only have access to Amazon's App Store, which, if we bring it up here, looks pretty similar to Google Play Store, but the amount of apps available is very, very limited, and you've got a smaller selection than you would from a normal Android tablet, which is limiting in quite a lot of ways. Now, you do have the likes of Angry Birds, Twitter, Facebook. All the main apps are there, but there are a lot of omissions, and it can be frustrating when you go there and look for an app that you think should be there and isn't. Moving on to the other content, of course, Kindle is widely known, or the Kindle brand is widely known for their e-ink readers, the Kindle and the latest one, the Kindle Paperwhite. And as such, books is one of the central themes here. And as you can see, it's got a pretty similar interface as a normal e-reader. And again, you have the Kindle store, which is probably the best ebook store online anywhere in the world. That works really, really well. The only issue is, of course, compared to the e-ink reader, which has an e-ink display, doesn't hurt your eyes. This has an LCD display and it's emissive, which means that if you read it for quite a long time, it's going to eventually hurt your eyes. That said, the screen is very sharp and the text is nice and crisp, and it is quite easy to read. It's got a resolution of 1280 by 800, meaning it's a HD resolution screen, and it does really look well. When you do get movies onto it, and when you're reading, we'll say magazines is one of the highlights of using this Kindle Fire HD. They look really well, and the content on it looks crisp, sharp, colors look vibrant, and contrast is really good. It is one of the best screens on a tablet that we have seen. Indeed, the screen resolution, or the pixel density, should I say, is 216 pixels per inch, which is higher than the iPad mini. And if watching content on a screen is what you want to do, then this is right up there. The screen is identical to the Nexus 7, which we also felt had a really, really good screen. Moving on from books, moving on to movies. As you know, Amazon recently purchased Love Film here in the UK, and as such, all the movies that are on here are through LoveFilm. You get 1 month free LoveFilm subscription when you buy Kindle Fire HD. But if you want to buy a one-off movie, if you want to buy the latest blockbuster, it's not possible. You're stuck to the LoveFilm catalogue of movies and TV shows, which is limited to say the least. While there is a huge array of it, if you are looking for a specific movie, more often than not, you may not find it. And the same goes for TV. It's a really, really limiting service. And an even bigger problem is that if you don't have a Wi-Fi connection, then you're not able to watch films at all. There is no option to download to watch offline. And while there is a way of getting your own personal movies onto it, the Kindle Fire HD doesn't support AVI files, for example, or .mov files. It only supports MP4 files, which means that unless you've downloaded the movies illegally and want to put them on then, there is no way of watching your own content on a Kindle Fire HD, which is a huge, huge problem for a media-focused tablet such as this. The Kindle Fire HD is looking to capture the lower end of the market. The 16 gig version is on sale for £159, which is identical to the 16 gig version of the Nexus 7, and that's £110 cheaper than the iPad mini. Amazon, like its e-readers, they're selling them at cost price, hoping to recoup the lost earnings from that by selling content on the device. The device is very, very content focused. It's not a content creation device, it's a content consumption device, and which is all fine and good, except when you're limited to the amount of apps you can download, to the amount of movies you can watch, and not being able to watch movies offline, there is quite a few drawbacks with this. Only time will tell to see if the Google or the Kindle Fire HD is able to match the iPad mini or the Google Nexus 7 for popularity here in the UK. But we have our doubts. I'm David Gilbert, Technology Editor for the International Business Times UK.